Hey guys, it's Miss Brisson here. I hope you're having a great Wednesday. I've got passage number 2 in the packet, lunch or junk. We're going to go over it today. I'm going to read through the passage with you. We're going to use our RTA strategies, and then we're going to answer number 1 and 2 together. I'm going to leave 3, 4, 5, and 6 and then write it out for you to do on your own. Remember to keep submitting your work. You can put it on your Class Dojo portfolio. You can message it to me through a picture. You can text it to me. So keep submitting that work as you go. I think it's awesome that you guys are getting your work done. So lunch or junk. Health experts get tough on school lunches. Before we start, let's go through and number our paragraphs. 1, 2, 3, remember anytime we see an indentation, 4, 5, and 6. All right. So now we're going to read through this together. Before we start, though, I want you to activate your schema. What do you know about school food? We've all had it. What do you know about the health of school food? How healthy are our school lunches? So I want you to think about that. You can even write down your background knowledge up over by the title. All right. Health experts get tough on school lunches. It's lunchtime at Hall Memorial School in Connecticut, and 10-year-old Haley is making her way through the food line. Many of her friends are thrilled with the day's lunch selections: pizza and French fries and hot dogs. But Haley feels discouraged. I use 4 or 5 napkins just to get the grease off the pizza, she says. Where are the healthy options? I know I've had to do that before many times. Health experts are asking the same question. They say foods high in fat, salt, and sugar should be banned. Banned means removed from school lunch programs. This includes some items you might not suspect or think about, like fruit punch, which is loaded with sugar, and macaroni and cheese, which is sky high in fat and salt. Children are already consuming. I want you to underline consuming. Consuming means eating too much junk food, says Jen Keller, a dietitian at the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. It's important to offer them only healthy items in school. Paragraph 3. It's not that health experts want to deprive, which means, let's read the rest of the sentence and try to figure out what that means. It's not that health experts want to deprive kids of foods like they like best. Deprive means like take away. They don't want to take it away forever or altogether. They just want to help kids avoid many of the health problems that come with eating large quantities or amounts of unhealthful food. Today, 15% of children ages 6 to 11 are obese or seriously overweight. Notice how they gave the definition of obese using those context clues in the rest of the sentence. That's up from just 6.5% in the late 1970s. Poor diet and obesity can cause diseases like type 2 diabetes, which can lead to blindness and kidney problems. As of a few years ago, this disease was so rare in children that it was called an adult onset diabetes, which means usually only adults are getting this. Many foods that are offered in cafeterias are linked to these problems, Keller says. Paragraph 4. Most schools do offer some healthful foods, but experts say that doesn't solve the problem. Given a choice, most kids are going to choose junk over something healthy, says Pat Thornton, a psychologist who studies obesity in children. I know if I'm given the option to eat pizza or salad, I'm definitely going to choose pizza. Thornton and other experts agree that schools and parents need to educate kids about making good food choices both in and out of school. For example, few kids understand that many popular candies, chips, and sodas come in containers that actually contain 2 or even 3 servings. And kids need to become skeptical, let's underline skeptical, Keep reading. Skeptical about food advertisements they see on TV and in magazines. Skeptical means like wary or unsure. Just because Beyonce sells Pepsi doesn't mean it's a good product for your body, Thornton says. Of course, some kids already seem to know all of this. The junk food is tempting, says 10-year-old Tim, but my parents tell me that if I eat healthy now, I'll have strong bones when I get older. And I know you guys have talked about that in PE as well. All right, so now I want you to just think about what you read. If you feel like you want to read it a second time, I know we've got some 50-cent words in there. Just read it over one more time. I'm going to go on to the questions. I've got my passage side by side, so I'm going to be going back and forth. And we are going to be proving those that we can. So let's take a look at number 1. I've got my highlighter. Remember, you don't need a highlighter, just underline the most important words in the question. Number 1, this article is mostly about. Article, mostly about. And we know that this, whenever they say mostly about, that's a main idea question. They're just asking, what is the main idea? What are they mainly talking about? So I know that they were talking about how unhealthy the school food was in the cafeterias. So let's go through and slash the trash for those that don't apply. A, how to cook a healthful meal. Now, they're not talking about cooking at all. They're not talking about me cooking a healthy meal at home. They're not talking about you cooking a healthy meal at home, so I'm going to slash that. Greasy pizza. Well, they did mention greasy pizza. I'll keep it open and then go back to it. So let's put a maybe dot. Food in school cafeteria. They talked a lot about the food in school cafeteria. That was pretty much all they talked about. So I'm going to put a maybe dot next to C. How to cure diseases. They did not talk about cures for diseases. So let's think back to the passage talking about healthy school food and how we can make our school lunches healthier for students. If I'm putting 50-50 between B and C, it's not mainly about greasy pizza. Yes, it is about food in school cafeterias, how to make it healthier. So our answer for number 1 is C. Now, as we know, the main idea we probably couldn't prove. I could take a look at the kind of like the subtitle here, and that could be my Q1 proof. Okay, so I got Q1. All right, let's take a look at number 2. All right. In the second to last paragraph, what does the word skeptical mean? Okay, I'm going to read it one more time with my highlighter. Second to last paragraph, that means not the last one, but the paragraph right before the last one. What does the word skeptical mean? And I remember that word because we actually underlined it as we were reading. All right, and then I'm gonna just look at my choices and I'm gonna plug and chug those choices in. So before I reread it, overweight, hungry, doubtful, healthy. Okay, so let's go back. I'm gonna prove. So I know that there are 6 paragraphs. I'm gonna go to paragraph 5 because it's the second to last. I'm gonna highlight the sentence before the word. So that's, for example, a few kids understand that many popular candies, chips, and sodas come in containers that actually contain 2 or even 3 servings. I'm going to highlight the sentence with the word, and kids need to become skeptical about food advertisements they see on TV and in magazines. And I'm going to highlight the sentence after. Just because Beyonce sells Pepsi doesn't mean it's a good product for your body. All right, so now I'm going to go back to that sentence with the word. And kids need to become skeptical about food advertisements they see on TV and in magazines. We said it means unsure. Okay, so let's look at my choices. All right, I've got overweight, and kids need to become overweight about food advertisements they see on TV. Nope, when I plug in chug, that does not make sense. Hungry, let's plug that one in. And kids need to become hungry about food advertisements they see on TV and in magazines. Nope, I'm gonna slash that trash. Doubtful, and we know if you doubt something, you are not sure about it. So let's plug that one in. And kids need to become doubtful about food advertisements they see on TV and in magazines. I'm gonna put a maybe dot next to that. That does make sense, and that is a synonym for unsure. And then healthy, let's plug our last one in. And kids need to become healthy about food advertisements they see on TV and in magazines. And then they talk about the Beyonce selling Pepsi. So no, that's not the best choice. So yes, doubtful. They need to think twice about it. Just because Beyonce says to drink Pepsi doesn't mean it's good for your body. Okay, so what you're gonna do, like I said, you are going to answer 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're gonna prove it in the passage using your RTA strategies, and then you're gonna write about it. You do not need to write an essay, just write a quick response. Do you think junk food should be eliminated, which means taken away from school lunches? Why or why not? Give me reasons why you think it should be taken away or why you think it shouldn't be taken away. So remember, you don't need to do an essay, just a quick response. And then submit it when you are done. All right. Have a good afternoon. Bye, guys.